Howdy and welcome. I'm Mike, your board gaming every dude. This is Board Games for One, and today is a little more of just a vlog update, just to chat with you, catch up on the direction of the channel, see what you all are liking and what you're not, just let you know what is coming up. So, first things, we're going to continue with what we've been doing, where continue doing lists. It seems that all of y'all like the lists, so we've got a video coming soon, or maybe it just posted on some new arrivals, as well as plenty of others. And we've also got some cool playthroughs, reviews, and tutorials coming up. So hopefully the publisher has reached out for the game Moonshine Kingdom, and they are supposed to be sending me a review copy, so I'll get a chance to thoroughly play through that and show it to you, see what you think. It's supposed to have a great solo option. I grew up I grew up kind of everywhere, but I lived in the Appalachian area for a while. Moonshine is certainly a thing around there, so it looks kind of cool. And then also one that I am super looking forward to, that I reviewed the last time this game was kickstarted. It's called Bonnie and Clyde, but it was very unfinished. You know, the art especially was not complete. The gameplay was fine. The gameplay was good, but so it didn't make it on that first Kickstarter, but it had a very good response. So the game, what is it, the publishers, the designer, Anketropia, I know that's what he is, but I forget the name of the actual designer. Yeast Games, there you go, Yeast Games. Designer and publishers from France. Anyway, they went ahead and they went all in with the art, and they've even tweaked a lot of the gameplay. This is a solo game. It's made for solo with, I believe, a two-player cooperative variant, possibly. I'm not sure, but definitely fully solo. So he's going to send me the complete finished copy with beautiful art, and I'm just really excited about that one. So that's in September. Maybe we'll see Moonshine Kingdom in August. I'm not entirely sure. But I'm going to try to keep contacting designers and publishers to try to start getting newer games in that you can see, and then continuing to feature older games and things like lists where people will still find it. Because if I make a video on an older game, it just dive bombs. Very few people see it. But I want older games, and by older, that's unfortunately like a year or more, to be featured. So they're going to find their place in lists. And then as far as the future, where's this channel going to go with you? So here's my goal with this, ever since I started it, is to approach this as a business, because that motivates me. A hobby does not motivate me. I don't keep going. So I want this to go somewhere good, to grow the solo board gaming hobby. And you'll see sometimes I throw in multiplayer content, and that's because a lot of solo players, we don't only play solo. Some do, and that's totally cool. I like 90% of what I do is, if not more than that. But plenty of us do play multiplayer games as well. So what I want Board Games for One to be, and maybe you disagree, so let me know what you think the channel of this whole community needs to go, because it's, even though I direct the channel, it is geared toward you and what you respond to, because I like interacting with you. Y'all have been very, very kind and great with suggestions, fun with interacting, and I want that to become more over time. All right, so anyway, with the direction of the channel, of course, I approach it as a business. So what that will look like as it grows, I have no idea. I was very opposed to things like memberships and Patreon and all that, because I just thought it seemed stressful. And also, something like that wouldn't be a good option as far as taking something that I'm already putting out and moving it to member. I don't think that's right. But if there are people that want to spend more time together, and dive into different things that maybe I just couldn't justify the time for the channel, then much further down the road, because we are just not there yet. We are a very small channel. very small, and we grow, but we grow at a steady rate. But it seems pretty loyal. Y'all seem to stick around, which I greatly appreciate. Makes it fun. So anyway, so that's an option down the road. You all tell me what you think about that. That is one thing. But for fun, a couple other cool things that have happened. So you've probably seen, maybe not, some of my postings or videos with the board game Nexus. So the board game Nexus comes from a channel, Ant Lab Games, Anthony and Francis. So Ant Lab Games is the both of them doing 2-player playthroughs and things like that, reviews. They've got a nice sized channel. Well, they also started something called the Board Game Nexus, which is a board game website. And it is in its baby phase, right? It's in its baby phase. It's a great place to go manage your collection, check out other games, get information, all that kind of stuff. But it is in its baby phase. So there's stuff there, but there's more to come. Now, I saw that in its beginning stages, and I thought it looked like a great idea. And honestly, I made this channel partly with the intent of joining with that, because I think that they're onto something cool, and I want to see where it goes. So fortunately, I am their solo dude. So when there are solo videos, I'm posting some over there. I want to start, right now what I'm doing is recordings I've done here. I'm also putting 1 or 2 as they will take them. There's only 2 of mine over there now on their channel, right? But I would like to actually split it so that when I post something for the Board Game Nexus, it's only there. And that's one style. It's maybe a little tamer, a little more professional. And then I want this to be, take off the chains. Just kind of have fun over here. So nothing changes over here. But anyway, that's what the Board Game Nexus is and my role with it. And I hope my role to continue with it as they grow. So we will see. That's the Board Game Nexus, so you can check that out. It's the website. I've always got it linked in the description below. All right, and then there's with Sovranti. So Sovranti is a virtual gaming app where they take games like Dice Miner and Tiny Towns and other games like that, and they put them into an app like Board Game Arena, all that kind of stuff. So I am a partner with Sovranti. That does not mean paid partner, nothing like that. I do game night with them on some Tuesdays. And they do have a few solo modes. Now, they don't have a lot of solo modes, but they do have a few. So they've got Dice Miner, Isle of Cats, Tiny Towns, and another one, Planet Unknown. Those are the 4 that I know of right now. So you'll see me featuring those on here for people that like that, for like when you're on the plane or traveling, that kind of thing. Or if you like game nights, and solo gamers, we do like playing with others sometimes. You're always welcome to join their game night Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. my time, Eastern U.S. time. All right, and then since mentioning the U.S., there's something I want y'all to be aware of. I realize there's different people watching from all over the world. I realize that. And so I use currency of dollars just because I'm in the United States. I decided not to try and translate that all on the screen into different currencies and things like that because it's just too much time. So I trust you can forgive that and we can deal with it, right? Good. But I love hearing about where y'all from and the different availabilities, different games that you do have and don't have, and how it's kind of different from here. So I enjoy that. Bring as much from where you are as possible. Okay. That takes us to the coolest collaboration, and that is Sir Meeple. So Sir Meeple, if you go to sirmeeple.com, he does apparel, right? And I thought it would be cool to have shirts someday at some point. But I reached out to Sir Meeple, and I guess I was actually on his list. He wanted to reach out to me. And he has this really cool thing. He didn't charge for it. I didn't pay for this. He made some super cool designs that actually he ended up letting me use as my logo and the channel banner, and you'll even see thumbnails and things that he's designing, different screens, any of the video game ones, those are super cool. But anyway, so he made a whole line of apparel that is just awesome. So you can check out Sir Meeple, Board Games for One, and if any of that is not your style and you want something that doesn't have this in it, that's totally cool. Let me know. Give me some ideas. And he does it for fun. So if he'd have fun making the design, he'll make it. And if he wouldn't, he won't. And that's kind of the deal. So that's awesome. But if you ever want to, that is a way to support the channel as well, as there's a 50-50 split. But I'm thinking I'll use some of the shirts and things for, or there's some shoes that are killer, so definitely getting those. But use those for giveaways, things like that, gifts. It's promotional, it's fun. That's the whole point, is to have fun. All right, so that's a lot of stuff that's happened, right? Then we've got what I'm trying to build a stronger connection with local game stores. So mine is Cape Fear Games in Wilmington. It's 2 hours away. And so I have to really plan for when I make my trips there. But I want to get to know the people there better, and I'm starting to get to know some of them. And part of that is where these XTreme Playthroughs come in. And we can totally change the name. I don't care. That's just what I picked. So if you got any suggestions, let me know. If you enjoy this kind of chat, this one-on-one kind of thing, update, give me a like as well, because that spreads the video so more people find us and our awesomeness, and we can do more and more ridiculous things without going crazy, because I like to keep it professional as well. I want this to be a place where you learn about games. But anyway, actually where I learn about games from a lot of you, because you have, frankly, more experience. I'm just trying to put it out there. Anyway, so with the XTreme Playthroughs, what the plan is, so we did Batman, The Dark Knight Returns. We did that, and that was legitimately, I really should have won it. I made a bad decision right at the very end. So I did end up losing that. So the way the XTreme Playthrough works is I make an agreement ahead of time. I'm going to put it in the community tab of this channel. If you don't check that community tab, probably every 3 days or so, I make a post in there. There's surveys, things like that, questions for you. But I put a survey up, and we're going to have a list of consequences in the case that I lose, that you will get to vote on. I'm taking ideas, but I'd also, from my local game store, like to get their ideas, as they're the ones that will implement these kind of funny consequences in the event of a loss. So what that will be is I'll post on the community tab for you to vote the consequences before the playthrough. Then I'll do the playthrough and hopefully win the playthrough. And if I win the playthrough, whatever you voted on ends up getting added to the consequence for the next time. So it's not lost, it just becomes cumulative over time, right? So it's not wasted, it still stays fun and entertaining. And believe me, if there was another person that I could implement the consequences to, I would. But this is solo gaming, I'm in, right? So I gotta take it, and I will have all the fun in the world with it, all right? The sillier and the more ridiculous, the better, right? And it's entertaining. But anyway, then of course, if I lose, then whatever has been collected for consequences, if it's the first one, that's what I got to deal with. If I've won 3 or 4 in a row and like 4 consequences have been collected, all of them end up getting used. And these are, of course, approved not just by me, but hopefully with the Cape Fear Games as well. So I've got Dylan helping, and his game group helping out for consequence for this one, which y'all already know about, and that will be posted. But we'll also make it educational, where they can share some of their favorite games at their store. So, you know, there's a point to it, right? So, sounds like fun, kind of community building. I think it'll be great. So we're going to try this once, and I'm hoping it works out. Even if there's not a whole lot of votes and things in the beginning, that's fine. It's just a start. We got enough votes that we're going to keep going forward. So we're going to do our next, so we'll have to pick a game for the next XTreme Playthrough. I would love to do it monthly, and we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, okay, first of all, a multiplayer game doesn't come with a solo mode. Belle of the Ball. We'll pop it up on the screen here somewhere. Belle of the Ball was fun. I played that 2-player, and it's a card game, just where you are trying to have the best party. So you're two people and you are inviting guests to your table, so you collect guests, and then you also have these bell cards. And if you play like the beauty, the bell, if you play one of those, they can either have an effect that benefits you, or you can cause mischief on your opponent. So you can play a card that messes up their whole plan, makes them discard guests or something like that. And then there is also a card that I believe was just more neutral. Didn't have quite, it was very beneficial, but it didn't like directly go into your party or into your neighbor's party. You could just play it for some kind of an effect. So I played through that, and that was a lot of fun. Close score at the end, which is always a good thing. And also, of course, Batman The Dark Knight Returns got several solo plays. It's a solo-only game. I've got the playthrough up, so I'm not going to, and the review and the tutorial, so I'm not going to go into that. But fantastic. Highly recommend if that is your type of game. I've got Predaporter on the table right now. I will tell you, it is a Portal Games instruction book, so it is like reading a novel. Yes, it is. The game looks fantastic, but I still got to learn. It doesn't come with a solo mode, so I'm using a fan-made solo mode. So once I finish the Portal Games instruction book, then I will read the fan-made solo mode, and we are actually going to put that up here for a review, and we'll see whether it merits a playthrough or a tutorial or anything like that. I might mash it all into one kind of condensed video just for the sake of what I can manage and what people will watch. Played through some Star Trek Frontiers, which did I do a video showing this? I think so. I can show it more. This is basically Mage Knight, just Star Trek the theme. I like this theme more, so that's what I was going for. This is a heavy, I did not know it was going to be a heavy game, but it's a heavy game, not like a Lacerda heavy. It's heavy in that you have a lot of bookkeeping. The game doesn't do like hardly any bookkeeping for you. So it's a fantastic game, don't get me wrong, but this is a game that is for like a smaller library that you pull this out all the time, because you basically, and it has a solo mode. It's multiplayer as well, 1 to 4 players. But basically, you have to know this game in and out, and you have to memorize a lot, or you're going to be referencing the rulebook. So that was tough, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thought the theme was cool. It's not a super strong theme. Like, it could have been, it didn't have to be Star Trek. I'm glad it was Star Trek. It could be anything, really. You could stick her on there. So it was different than I expected. I thought that the Mage Knight style games were going to be, big old lake in the way, were going to be like campaign, highly thematic storyline, level up a character across multiple plays, but basically each play is a reset. So you play a game and you level up throughout it, and that game's done. And then you start from scratch, which is fine. It's just completely different than I thought it was going to be, more like a Jaws of the Lion, Lord of the Rings kind of thing, and not even close. All right, Star Trek Expeditions, really loved this. This is, who's this guy? I know his name, Rainer Knizia, who makes a lot of good solo modes. That was a lot of fun, played through about 5 times. Much easier to learn than Frontiers, but also there is not as much to the game. It's basically a card game where you are exploring a planet and then teleporting up to the Enterprise to battle a Klingon ship, and then transporting down to the planet to complete missions and all this stuff before you run out of time. A lot of fun solo play. Even though it's got like movie art from the new Star Trek, I'm not a fan of that, but it's fine. It's fine. The gameplay was strong. What else? Played Tiny Towns multiplayer on Sovranti and solo. Been going through that, so that's just a town building game where you are collecting cubes, placing them on a grid to create certain shapes, and certain shapes equal buildings. So let's say you have a yellow, a green, and a red cube. Well, if they're in a certain shape, that means you can take those off and put a house there. And then for every 4 houses, you need to build a farm. A farm might be 2 brown and 2 yellow cubes, and you have a limited grid space. So it is block placement, replacing with buildings to actually build your tiny little town, and different buildings have different bonuses. So Surprisingly fun little solo game. And I tried to record a playthrough and I just ran into tech issues. So hopefully, try it out again. Haven't played the board game version, like the actual physical version. A few other games in there, but I think that wraps it up and that I've rambled long enough. So thank you all for sticking with me. I'm going to put a video up here of a fun little trip to a friendly local game store, and love y'all. See you next time.